Hello and welcome. This is Alchemist X, and this is going to be a part 2 to the last banner overview video just because some more stuff has come up. The 65 5-star both unit and memento banners have dropped. And then also I want to go over the secret shops just because I had some questions about that. And well, in general, I think that banners are going to be a better way to spend gems. There are going to be some use cases for some of that stuff, like the 5k bundle and the perfect rune sets, especially as far as if hitting exact breakpoints on gem spent bonuses, they can help you do that. And then right now I am showcasing what I got in the last couple of steps of the Memento pickup banner, which I ended up doing. I did it the day before the 65 5-stars dropped, so I'm not totally sure if I would have done it knowing that, but can't really know that ahead of time. And now I have the selector and I haven't used it yet. Overall, it was kind of a dud of an experience, except for one thing. That one thing definitely made it worthwhile. It's one of those banners where if you get the worst case scenario, it really sucks, but even like the worst case +1, it is a huge gap. And as you can see, it was the brand new memento for Smire. I didn't have either of her mementos, so for me this was a pretty big deal. I have since max limit broken it, etc. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the shops first, and then after that I'll go over the banners and I'll kind of talk about the pros and cons of the different options. Okay, so we are at the secret shop. So the gem shop has two things in particular that I think are noteworthy. The first is going to be the 5k bundle, and then the second are going to be the perfect rune sets. The other stuff that's available for gems is mostly just getting materials, basically spending gems to save time, which I'm not a big proponent of. But the 5k bundle, there are definitely potential good use cases for it, just especially if you are able to make a lot of progress in your account at once. Like, even though all of this stuff is normal pool, you might find yourself in a situation where it's beneficial. And I can give you my account as an example. So for the 375 shards, for me, Corvus, no questions, would be the unit I would pick, just because I don't have him fully enlightened yet, and that would go a long way. I haven't even done his altar class yet, just because I haven't max limit broken, and then I've only got like 200 shards of him. So something like that, for a unit as impactful as he is in terms of clearing content, could definitely be worthwhile. But then you'd also want to have value for the memento. So for me, it would be Ox Transformation Memento. That one has just continued to elude me. I just cleared Ox altar class very recently. I have her limited memento that gives you the mug, and then I have her normal pool memento. I don't have the summer one, and I don't have this one. So that would be a good amount of progress just in and of itself for that. And then the gear is probably going to be the least impactful unless you're missing something really specific. If you don't have Kudenstein's Scarf, that can be a good one to get. If you use Chloe a lot, the Cup of Ruin is probably what I'd pick, just because I've never gotten it despite all the massive amounts of gear selectors that I've gotten. So yeah, if you're able to just check all of those boxes at once, and it's going to push your account to a new threshold in terms of what you're able to do, then yes, I would say that this bundle could be worth it. But I don't think that's going to be the case for most people. You have to be in pretty specific points for all of those categories all at the same time. Now, the rune sets, on the other hand, may be a bit more universal, just because they're a little bit cheaper. If you're exactly 2k gems away from a gem spent breakpoint, and that's as far as you want to go, you just want to spend that exact amount of gems and then just save for anniversary, then this could be a good way to do that, especially if you've got somebody in mind. Especially somebody that really needs HP, somebody that really needs speed, because you can't go wrong with the fixed stat runes. And then it'll be a little bit dicier as far as if you need crit, or if you P attack versus dex, or M attack versus dex. But nonetheless, you'll find a use for those runes regardless of which substats that you get. But overall, that is about it for the secret shop. So next, let's go ahead and take a look at the banners once more, and we'll talk about the two new ones that just showed up, and then compare them to the other options that are available. And here we are at the banners once again. So these are a couple of familiar faces if you've been playing for a while. If they're new to you, then the premise is pretty simple. 250 gems per either unit or memento, and then the number of items that you get per step increases, and for a grand total of 65 if you go all of the way. And then of course, everything from step 5 onward guarantees 1 limited per step. So overall, it's a very, very good value. The only thing to be wary of is 2 things. First, that they tend to release these as a gem pit before dropping something else. It's a pretty common pattern that they've done in the past, so definitely think about that. And then also, you are still at the mercy of RNG. So you could get a ton of 5-star things that you don't care about. But overall, you're making the decision to choose quantity over quality by doing this banner. And the worst case scenarios for them is much better than the worst case in a lot of other banners. So in the case of these banners in this period of time specifically, the main contrast is going to be the coin banner for units and the pickup banner for mementos. So as far as the pickup banner goes for units, oh, I totally lost track of where it was. The main thing is going to be that units that you care about as far as raising, right? Because when you consider the worst case scenarios, you just don't get any featured units. Well, you still got some coins. And somebody like Ophinius, who has not been an option for very many coin shops, just basically before this, the Dragon coin shop was the only one. Maybe you bought all the shards up to the max price like I did. Well, then now he's available on another coin shop, so you can do that. That's why I did the steps of it when I did to get his gate 6. So that's when you want to do this, when you've got the very, very narrow focus. And that narrow focus is also going to apply to mementos. Although it is definitely a little bit harsher here because you don't get a per step consolation the way you would with the coins. So you have to make the decision to go all the way to step 10 or 20 if you were going for Dios, but that doesn't really apply here. So in my case, I went for this because Dios's second memento is very, very high priority, and then I was attempting to get other high priority mementos along the way. I did get one of them, which was nice, but overall I still paid like over 20k gems. I got 1 featured memento across 10. I got 5 5-star mementos total across 10 steps, which is not great. So it's not the worst case scenario, of course, because 0 featured would be the worst case scenario. And the gap between the worst case and the worst case plus 1 is a pretty noticeable gap. And then like the worst case plus 2 and the worst case plus 1, the gap between them is pretty big. So it does reward luck very greatly, but you do have to have that luck to begin with. And if that's something that you're just not cool with, then the 65 5-stars is going to be a better option. And then as far as whether or not to go deep into it, I would just think about Anniversary, think about anything else that you might be hoping for, expecting, maybe a Link version of a Sacred Stones character that hasn't come out yet, like Catanova, that kind of thing. But I will say that it is very, very hard to go wrong with just that many 5-stars. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the matter. So I can consider this this resets banner overview now complete, now that they threw a very sudden wrench into things. So now I'm going to just do this step 3 of the memento banners, because then that'll give me 6 total 5-stars from here, which is going to be more than what 10 steps of the pickup banner got from me, which I think is pretty ridiculous. Not exactly surprising. I was definitely anticipating getting like the absolute worst case scenario, but that's how much I prioritize my Dios Link. He's the unit I use the most in the game. I run him, Ophinius, Riza, and Andex a lot. Sometimes I swap out Andex for a situational character, but overall, so when I look at things like that, like that's going to be where my priority is going to be. Oh, look at that. We got Almira's Link memento. I don't actually have her though. Continuing my trend of not quite matching up the things. Oh, is that Minario's memento? I think I have that one already too. I also don't have Minario. And then Mikaya's memento. That's a pretty good haul in terms of limiteds though. So yeah, just the one of them was new. But yeah, there we go. That's an example. Absolute RNG, but it didn't cost very much. So yeah, can't really complain too much about that. So yeah, if you are going to summon on these, I wish you good luck, and I will see you all next time.